Hey everyone. For my first client session with any family, for the first segment, I would start by introducing myself, letting them know that I am very unbiased and unjudgmental towards anything going on, anything they have to say. I would go around the room and let everybody in the family introduce themselves and introduce like who they are in the family and their role. I would let every single person in the family know that they are open to speaking as openly as they need to with their family, that there's no judgments. They don't have to worry about what everyone's thinking, and there's no biases, and that I would want them all to feel very comfortable in this environment and that they should feel safe saying whatever it is they need to say because we're here to address some real concerns and some real issues. I'd let them know that there is no shaming or blaming in this session, that I'm so open to giving advice or to just listening to whatever they have to say, that we're not going to interrupt each other. Everyone gets their time on the floor, everyone gets their time to speak and explain themselves. Um, as far as if the family started to bicker and started to do a lot of that shaming and blaming, I would interrupt and say, this isn't the place for this. This isn't the space. This is a space for open communication. I'd rather have us talk it out. Bickering isn't going to solve anything because, you guys came here for a reason. And I'm sure there's been bickering in the past, but that's not what this is. The bickering clearly hasn't gotten you to a place where you guys feel like everything's getting better. So we're instead of that, we're going to try to open it up and, figure out some boundaries and some limits. And, I'm going to ask every single member of the family, like, what is your take on why you guys are here today? Or what do you think that you've done to add to whatever's going on? Or what do you think you can do in the future to help? Or what do you think you're doing that's working? What are you doing that's not working? And I would ask each individual member of the family their take on it. So if one of the family members said like, hey, I have this problem and it's definitely adding to the family stress, I would want to ask each individual family member, how do you feel about this issue and how does this issue affect you? And do you think that your family member is completely aware of all the problems it's causing, or do you think that there's things that they're missing? And if you guys have any suggestions for how they could help it or how you feel it could be improved upon, I'd want every member of the family to talk apart, or if they could, speak upon other members of the family's issues and just say how they feel and how they're affected by them and how they feel that maybe they could even help. I would interrupt any kind of bickering by letting the family members know that, blaming each other isn't going to really solve anything, that they need to be more open to communication. And the way that they communicate here is the way I want them to take the communication outside of a therapy session. So if, all they're doing is bickering in here, well, it's not going to be super helpful when they leave here to continue with that. I would want every family member to know that they are completely safe in this environment, that I can, laugh with them, joke with them, work on even the good things. We can talk about the things that are going super well in the family. This isn't just to highlight everything going wrong. We can work towards, helping with the things that are going wrong, but I also like to highlight everyone's strengths in the family and the different pieces of the family that they find are going well. So for how we might end the session and, including any kind of therapy, one of my favorite things, to end a session is for everyone to go around the room and rate how they're feeling. I think that's a huge thing. And I think it's kind of a good transition into like what we should do the next session. So like if you ended the session feeling really great, that's awesome. But however, if you're a member of the family who maybe ended like the session feeling not so great, like you might have been attacked, like you might have felt singled out, I'm going to ask like, okay, what is it that you think that we could do better to help you with that the next session to transition them into a better place, and get them ready. Another major thing I always would want to do, besides asking them how they're feeling after the session, is asking them to either, come up with an idea for the next session or to, keep a journal of any of the things that they're working on. So if somebody in the family has like a drinking problem or drug problem, or even something as simple as getting bad grades, I would want them to sit and keep a record of all the times between now and the following session that they've used, or that something like that has happened. So if they're a drinker, that they've used alcohol as a coping skill, or if, they get bad grades, if they've been working really hard, or if they've been dishonest about a grade, or if, they notice themselves doing pretty badly, and to try and kind of point out to like, this happened because of this, or like something triggered me so I drank, or something upset me so I didn't study, or something was a struggle in school so I didn't get it and I didn't do well. I just think that that's really important because it gives you a clear outline of where to go for the next session. So when we all come together again, you guys could open up these things. And sometimes there's a lot of things that people don't even see. Like, my daughter started doing something that really upset me, so I picked up a drink. So, how in turn things are affecting other members of the family. So I think it's really important that they see that. So for the next session, we can open up these things and really get down to a difference of how we can change our behaviors and how, as a family unit, we can work together to helping each other change the behaviors that are maybe undesirable. Yeah, and so I think that that would be the most important thing, and to constantly remind them to support each other and talk openly during that week and let me know how that went rather than arguing with each other and bickering with each other. I'd want them to, come back and say, hey, when we had this problem, we were able to talk about it so and so and so, and this happened, rather than we went home and we went back to exactly the same things we were doing before and everything didn't seem better. So I would encourage the families to bring me back some things that have happened since the last family session. So we're ready to dive into the next one, maybe with some more positive outlooks. All right, thanks.